Hello and welcome back to Airport CEO, and of course, this is Melbourne Airport. Nothing like the original Melbourne Airport, just where we are currently located. To start off this episode, I actually want to change my design just a little bit. I realized that I actually would like to have a walker-laters up and down this terminal because this is actually quite a long way to walk. So I would like to extend this wall out by one more, just so that we have the room to be able to do that. So I'm going to go into a quick little time lapse, plan that out real quick, and we'll be back in just a second. Okay, so that looks a little bit better to me. The general plan is here. We have a cafe in here, fast food in here, two shops in here, and then a nice little central bathroom for our terminal right there. This bathroom is also going to be moved down at some point, but I want to sort of redesign how this is going to work a little as well. The other thing I'm noticing as we are looking around here, we didn't put a door in for this terminal gate, so we should probably get that up and running before we do too much else. But we're just going to let the game run for a little bit now because we are very, very broke. We'll check our emails, but I doubt there's anything important in here. Nah, and pretty much ignore all of that. Our airport is doing okay right now. It's not the best. We definitely need some more money. It's saying we need some more janitors, and that is probably correct. So let's jump into staff and sort that out real quick. Let's just grab two more, should do it. Everyone else is kind of just bad at the job, so should also probably check on our R&D, make sure this is moving along nicely. We just finished baggage handling and fuel tanks. What do we want to get next? I would like to actually do baggage handling for our small stands. I know that we don't need to, but I kind of like doing it. It's kind of an interesting challenge to deal with. And yeah, at this point, we've pretty much got all of the research that we want. So why not just go ahead and start researching all of the things that we need for baggage? That will work out nicely for us, I think. We need at least 2 people on that. That can be fine. They can have 4 each. That should be good. I'm not too concerned about any of these just yet. Airline relations would be kind of nice. High security alerts, fine. Reduce the risk of security incidents. Supplier discount is probably one that I definitely will take. So yeah, we'll probably go with airline relations and supplier discount in the long run, but I don't think that's necessary just yet. For now, we basically just need to run this time lapse a little bit longer until we have, well, more money, because we are still also paying off our loan, and that is taking some money out of our account at the same time. But we are still making money, so we're not too concerned about that. I'll let this run until either we have some money to do some stuff, or we have an emergency that needs dealing with. Alright, so to make this go just that little bit quicker, we did just construct some boarding gates here for this terminal, so we are going to go ahead and connect those up. We'll dismiss this current aircraft that's in here and switch this to commercial. When we do that, of course, because we aren't using our auto planner on all of these by default, we will have to go into the small aircraft stand 13 and make sure to turn that on. We should have enough flights here to cover this, and that should just bring in the money just that little bit quicker. Of course, that did bring us down to negative 3,000, so that is something to keep in mind, but should be okay. And I'm just going to go ahead and do these myself during the time lapse. We're just filling out basically all of them that we can. We don't need them right now, but we may as well use the administrators we have rather than just let them sit around and do nothing. The little bit of money that we do have, I'm going to go ahead and try and build this out now, because adding some shops in here will also help us to increase our profits in the short term. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my building tools, build planned objects, and see if we can afford this. It's close. We can do that much for now, and during the time lapse, I'll fill this out completely. All right, with these built out, we can go ahead and start talking about shops. Now, shops are pretty simple to straightforward to set up. We're going to start with the shops rather than the restaurants. And we're just going to do 2 little shop rooms back here. This one is going to be 44 square meters, and so is this one. And then we can basically let the game run for a little bit as we get some contracts building up here. Realistically, the only thing we're looking for right now is someone that is happy with the size of these rooms. So it looks like most of these people will be. If you're noticing that I have some extra contracts in here too, that is because I did install the real world businesses mods those will be listed in the description of this video as well. So keep that in mind. We're looking for probably a 2-star, maybe a 3-star, but I think that's unlikely. We only have, how big are these rooms, did I say? I forget already. If we go into shops, we can see this. These are 44 square meters. So if you have a look here, we have 44 square meters. They want 15. They want 146. So that's not happening. They want 78. Yeah, they want 78. So we might only be able to do the 1-star shops in here, which is fine. That is what I wanted. In terms of the small stands, you really don't get a lot of traffic for your shops. So going for nice small shops means you're going to be able to meet their sales requirements a lot more easily than other contracts. So looks like we have 3 options. We can do quick stop, turner, and biller. If you have a look at this, we get a cut of 19% there, and we only need 35 sales to get a bonus from that. This one is also 19 and 35, and this one is 17 and 35, so this one is the worst of the 3. So we're probably going to go for biller and turner. They both just require 1 shelf and a cashier's desk, which is very much easy to do. We just need a shop counter. The customers will queue on the side that has like the seat looking things. So the employees will stand on the empty side and the customers will stand on the other side. I like to put this just like sort of at the back somewhere, around about there. And we'll do the same for both of those. And then we can just grab any kind of shelf that we want. We could do like a big shelf in the middle here, or we could do a series of smaller shelves, like these pedestals are kind of nice. We'll do like 3 of those in each of these shops. That will be more than enough, and that will satisfy the requirements for both of these contracts. So biller and turner are going to be coming in here. They'll pay us some rent, and as well as give us a bonus to anyone who shops with them. As for these larger rooms, we're going to make these into restaurants and cafes. These are going to be 209 square meters. There is a lot more traffic for restaurants and cafes. Before we get too far crazy with ourselves though, we need to make sure these are actually assigned to secure zones, because if they're not, they will not function. So we'll make sure we go ahead and do that real quick. Let's place that in there so we don't forget that at the end as well. And yeah, basically this entire section will be secure zone. Make sure the doors are included as well. Otherwise they will not work. And then we basically just need to do the same thing. We let the game run for a little bit. We'll get some offers coming in. We're probably going to go for 4 stars for these. So we could probably get a subway into one of these and something else in the other one. Maybe this isn't too bad. Petite Bissau. I definitely mispronounced that. Can we get something else that I can actually pronounce? Costa Coffee, I can absolutely pronounce that. So yeah, let's go for Costa Coffee. And what was the other one? Subway. So Subway is going to require 4 cooking stations and a cafe counter. We can absolutely do that. So let's just pause the game again. Go into restaurants and cafes. Need 4 cooking stations. They can just come along maybe the back here somewhere. Yeah, let's do this. Leave them a little bit of an entrance there. You can bring these in to there, and we'll do the same on the other side. That's all they need in terms of that. And then we also need some cashier's counters. You want the group head handles on the coffee machine facing the employees. So these will go at the back here. And I'm thinking something like this will be nice. And then we can chuck some seating in here. It's not required, but it is absolutely something we can do. So if we jump into seating, grab ourselves maybe a square table. We could have, I don't know, we could have a couple of tables in here. We go something like 3 there, gap, 3 there, gap, and 3 there. And we can always move these as well if we want to. And then I prefer kind of using let's use chairs for these ones, I think. I think the chairs are going to look better at these kinds of tables. So we'll do something like that. And I don't actually think I want the end ones there. So we'll grab our copy paste tool and we can just copy and paste that over. And then if I don't like the placement, which I don't, I kind of want it over one more, we'll just copy and paste the entire thing. Hold Control to delete the original and just move it across one. And that will give us our layout for in here. I don't mind this layout. I think this is fine. And then we can just grab some little plants to throw in where we see fit, maybe in the corners there. And that should be good. Nice little Subway restaurant for in here. You can go ahead and accept that contract. and basically do the same thing over here, except we are going with Costa Coffee, which requires display fridges instead of cooking stuff. So this is more like a supermarket type situation. So we'll jump back into restaurants and cafes. We are still going to need the cashier's counters, and I'm going to chuck these back at the back again. I think that was a pretty decent spot to have them. And then we just need some display fridges, and we can put these in basically in any orientation that we want. So maybe something like this is fine. And then we can just copy and paste this. Leave a little bit of a gap. And we don't have enough funds, but that's more than enough anyway. Instead, we could actually probably just move these forward, so it fills out that space just that little bit nicer. And then we can just come in here and go ahead and say, sign this contract. They're going to give us $744 an hour. I feel like we're definitely not going to meet the demands of both of these, but they're going to give us some money in the meantime. The other thing I do want to get in here is a bathroom, but we have no money left for that. So we're going to have to let the game run, let these build up, and we should see a pretty decent increase to our overall income. Now that these have been built, you'll notice that we didn't actually have to hire employees for these. They will staff themselves because we are just renting the space to someone else. And if you click on these, you can see how many sales you're making. So this currently has 8 of 35. 35 is the target that we need to achieve in order to keep them around. I'm just going to pause the game for a sec while that dings at me. 35 is the amount of sales we need to keep them around. We need to meet that at least once every 7 days to keep them happy. And these ones, because they are much larger, require 220 and 265 respectively. But that is absolutely okay. Let's have a look at this emergency. Mayday, mayday, mayday. OK Air Vintage Flight OK 583, weight class small, is experiencing a fuel warning emergency and requires unspecified assistance. Refusal or failing to correctly handle this emergency landing will incur a harsh fine and security rating penalty. We should find an available stand for them to utilize within the next 30 minutes. We can absolutely do that, of course, because we have a dedicated stand exactly for that. We can get them in like right now. They will come in and land. We will, I imagine, refuel them, which we can do because we have some fuel tanks there, as long as they don't want Jet A1 fuel, because then we can't. But that is the thing. They actually might want Jet A1 fuel. DC3. Fueling is desired. We might have to try and build that, which is going to be interesting. I kind of want to move this avgas tank over to the other side because this is going to be more the general aviation side. But yeah, we really don't have a lot of room to build that for right now unless we build it up here. Let's have a look. We go into aircraft infrastructure and we say we want a Jet A1 fuel. Too far away from fuel depot. That's a tank. We need the actual depot itself. We don't have the funds for it, so unless we want to take out another loan, which I don't really want to do at this point, we can't really help them too much. We have a look here. It says refueling in progress. It might just take AV1. Yeah, it does. Perfect. So avgas, I mean, which is perfect. So we've dealt with that situation. That plane is now happy and heading out on its way. Emergency averted. 1 of 2 steps resolved. 2 of 2 steps resolved. We handled that absolutely perfectly. Couldn't have asked for anything better. And you'll notice our money is coming in a lot faster now. Let's have a look at our email. We got a 100% completion grade, handling grade A, and we have not been fined. Absolutely perfect. That's exactly what we want to see. Of course, we are still doing our R&D, but we are almost finished with the entire thing. We do need to build a weather station to be able to unlock the de-icing permit, but that's more than fine. We'll just continue to do these as they come up, and why not build that right now? We can build a large one, and we can sort of just stick that in basically anywhere we want to. I don't know where I want it though. We could throw it in here. I'm going to have my main towers up here. Throw it in, but just behind this tower here maybe. Yeah, that'll be fine. It can just live in there. That'll be our weather tower. That will unlock the de-icing permits. But yeah, we're getting a lot more money in, so I think I actually want to go ahead and build this bathroom now. Do that in another quick little time lapse here. Something like that should work just fine. And again, do not forget to click the open room button, otherwise no one will use it. And also double check that it's still in a secure zone. Because again, if it's not, then people will not be able to use it. So that's all looking good. This is going well. We should at some point replace these with some more self-check-ins just to let up on what our staff currently needs to do. But everything is looking pretty good. I think I would like to just adjust how we're going to do this security in the long run. It's going to be pretty much this. I just want to move it over a little bit and plan for those travelators, which we can do right now. I would like these small ones in. I would like a gap of like at least 3. Let's do it this way. We'll give them a gap of 4 and we'll say, I want you in there. And then we can just rotate and have something going the other way and then jump in, copy paste mode, leave a gap of say 2 or 3. I think 3 looks nice. Let's go for a gap of 3 and then just carry this all the way up our terminal so that people can get up here nice and quickly if they want to. I don't know if that last one is strictly necessary, but that should be good to go. Once we get a little bit more money in our bank accounts, which we should relatively quickly, we'll start really expanding this terminal out and getting all of these up and running as commercial flights, and then consider opening up the other side of our airport for the general aviation that we have now turned away because we are doing commercial flights instead. So jump back into a quick little time lapse here as we make a little bit of money or until we get another emergency, because they are quite common in extreme mode. For some reason our employees aren't able to get up here, which is interesting. Okay, seems to have fixed that. I must have just not had that secure zone set up quite right. We did get another emergency alert, and this one is also absolutely terrible for us. An unknown virus is currently spreading quickly across the world, and countries are closing their borders. We can expect a significant, if not complete, loss of passengers and aircraft traffic in the near future. That is going to last 3 days, 3 hours. So that is a very, very, very long emergency incident. Thankfully, I don't think it super affects regional travel, which is all we're currently offering anyway. So we'll keep an eye on that, but hopefully it doesn't impact us too much. But very, very topical at the moment. Let's continue with the time lapse, get these all done and dusted as well. And my game crashed. Alright, we are back in, and it doesn't look like we lost too much progress, although that emergency is no longer here, so maybe fingers crossed it doesn't come up now. I'm not sure what crashed my game, but it was obviously something. The only thing that I think we did that hasn't been done is convert this to a secure zone so that our staff can actually get to that shop because they couldn't before. But yeah, we should be good to go. We'll jump back into a time lapse and hope nothing else happens. Hope that everything's okay. We'll see if we get that emergency again as well. With a little bit more money in the bank as well, I think we can start to expand our terminal just a little bit more. We go into our copy paste tool. We can basically just copy and paste this entire thing and move it up to this terminal entrance, which will be fantastic, giving us another commercial flight that we can go ahead and utilize there. Again, bringing that money in a little bit quicker, also bringing in more customers for our shops. And then slowly throughout this time lapse, I'm going to try and build the rest of this out as well, and hopefully that will be good. That is yet another stand set up and running. We might though have to take some more contracts because these are currently not offering us enough flights to keep these all full. So we'll jump into our economy tab, go to offered contracts and sort by airlines. And we're looking for the best that we can get at 3 stars. We'll take Maple Vintage and OK Air Vintage. That should be more than enough for right now. Keep us up and running. This will fill up in no time at all. And we'll leave this running for a little bit longer as I fill out the rest of this terminal building. Alright, we have a medical emergency, requires ambulance assistance. I do believe that we have an ambulance. We do. The only thing we don't currently have is a police car. That is more than fine. They are going to require us to get them a stand, and we can absolutely do that again because we have that stand dedicated for that exact purpose. We'll get them in and sorted, and they should be on their way with absolutely no problems at all. Resolved 100%, super quick, super easy. Nothing to worry about there. And we should also be getting very close to finishing all of our research projects. The only thing that we have left, I think, is the large helipads as soon as medium helipads finishes. So that should be absolutely fantastic. We'll have all of the research unlocked, just need to wait for money at that point. Although I am noticing now that we definitely need to increase our security because that is definitely not up to scuff at the moment. I would like to have these large ones in, they're very expensive. Maybe we can get away with medium for now, although I don't think this is going to fit. Yeah, that's not going to fit. We might have to readjust this by moving the bathroom first, and I think it can just literally come down to right here. Even here, we actually don't need these seats. So I'm going to demolish that and throw the bathroom down the very end of the terminal, and then we can go ahead and readjust security. For the moment though, I think we should probably go ahead and just grab some small security checkpoints in the meantime to get that sorted, which will probably mean we need some more security staff as well. So we'll go ahead and hire them preemptively. Security officer, hire, and hire. We'll grab some extras. Staff costs really don't make that much of a difference, so should be absolutely no problem. This is now finished. We can go ahead and grab a quick wall, and we're just going to wall directly across here. Again, because this is our emergency one, we're never going to really be having anyone board that, so we don't have to worry about that too much. And then we can just throw in a nice little door off to the side and figure out a little layout for this bathroom. So jump that whole section there and grab ourselves some toilets. Nice little 2 gap in the middle is not too bad. This doesn't need to be huge, and it's going to be pretty much just the same as the other one. Throw some sinks in and some hand dryers. Everyone should be happy enough with that, and while we're at it, we may as well throw in some plants just to make everyone that little bit happier. So that should be good. Make sure to open that room, and then we can go ahead and demolish this. I'm also thinking of moving this bathroom to somewhere else because I don't like where it is. Maybe like right in the middle of these doors would be a decent spot to have it. I just don't want it here. And medium helipads is done. So maybe there aren't actually large helipads. That is interesting. Okay, that's fine. But we can go ahead and demolish this bathroom. We just need to make sure that we also turn off the actual bathroom part. That should be fine. And then once this is demolished, another thing you want to make sure you do is go ahead and repaint the secure zone where the walls were. I also seems to have demolished the back wall for this toilet, but thankfully these are stalls, so they still have some privacy in here. The other annoying thing is I got rid of the floor, and I didn't really want to. I don't know if there's a way to get just the regular floor back. I don't think it's like concrete. It looks similar, but it's not the right texture, which is a little bit unfortunate, but that is what it is. Let's go ahead and also do a quick little bathroom somewhere else for these people. If we do something, I don't know, like if we leave 2 and then 2, that should be fine. Nice little bathroom in here. We just need to make sure that we build some more of this foundation before we can do that. Get that running. Build the wall. Put that in there like that. And make sure that we are also building this wall, because that's important. And then grab our bathroom tool and we'll do the same thing here. Throw in a nice little bathroom down the bottom. But I'll fast forward through this one. Perfect. And that'll sort that out, and then we can just go ahead and straight up demolish this section here. Again, remembering to actually demolish the bathroom room itself and enable this one to be open. Grab that floor again. If anyone knows what the actual floor is here, like this just basic concrete texture, or how to get it back, that would be great. I know you could probably demolish the floor entirely and then rebuild it, but that's not something I want to do. I want to change the floors in here eventually anyway. It's potentially marble? Ah, it's marble. Perfect. Never mind. I just didn't check enough of the things. We have a delayed flight, but we're not too concerned about that. Get rid of these doors, and honestly this entire wall, and then we'll redesign how our security looks. The other thing that I do want to do real quick, while we still have a little bit of money in the bank, is demolish these seats and just make it match the other ones, and also replace this desk with these singular self-serve checkouts, which will be nice and make everything work just that little bit quicker. So this is 2 down, right about there, should work nicely. And then for this is kind of annoying, but what we can do is we can switch this off. No, we can't. No, we can't, because we can't move this while it's working. So what we actually need to do to get this to work is jump into our desks, our boarding desks, self-boarding gate, and put at least one of these. We can actually fit 2, so we'll go 2 for now. Connect these, then turn this off, demolish this, and then put the other ones in, and that will be fine. Fine and dandy. We also didn't demolish these doors. Alright, with these in now, we can just shift-click those, connect these up, disconnect this, and then we can demolish it and build 2 more of these. And then the last thing we need to do is make sure we also connect these to the stand, and that should be all set and ready to go. I don't mind having this manual one down here because, again, like I said, this is never really going to accept passengers from the terminal, so we're not too concerned about that. And if it does, then they can figure it out on their own. I also kind of just want to put a little bit more decoration in this room, maybe like a large plant or 2, just to like divide the middle of this room up a little bit. We did something like that, maybe that would look nice. See how that looks. And with baggage security tier 3 about to finish in just a second here, we should have officially completed all of the R&D available to us. Yes, all projects are complete. You can see we have 8 available administrators, which actually means we don't have enough. We need to go into hiring and hire ourselves 2 more administrators, jump into R&D, and then we can assign them to these. So I'm thinking we want to go for supplier discount, 100%, and I'm thinking also airline relations. The other thing we absolutely should be doing in here is reducing this project time and putting it into a staff productivity boost. And I'm also thinking, no, I think marketing's still good. It attracts visitors to the airport. We're not utilizing that feature of this R&D, but we are getting 5% increased passenger spending at food and shop franchises, which should help us make that little bit more money. I also wouldn't be super opposed to turning this off and putting it into passenger satisfaction boost, but I think this is fine where it is. So R&D is all officially done. That's going to clear up our notifications an absolute ton. Let's jump into a little bit more time-lapse and we'll continue building out the airport as we can. Alright, I changed my mind. Instead of building out the airport right now, I think what we should actually do is focus on our infrastructure for parking a little bit more. I kind of want to change the way that this works. Well, actually, no, not really. I think I like the way that this is set up. I'm going to go ahead and say build this and build all of this. And that'll leave us with $25,000. That should be enough. I believe there's a road planned under there, but I'm not actually sure that there is. Let's just double check that real quick. Yeah, there is. Okay, so I think what I want to do is eventually I'm going to demolish the bus stands here, only have cars and taxis, and then I'll have a separate world entrance, and I'm just going to plan that because I don't actually want to build it just yet. Have a separate world entrance coming in here that comes up and drops people off with the buses in a separate route, because in a separate playthrough that I've been doing, just for my own personal time learning the game, I noticed this getting a little bit congested and I didn't really like that. And actually, you know what? I'm going to do what I said I was going to do originally. I'm going to delete that, and delete that. And we're going to jump into not in planning mode. Grab another world tunnel entrance. I'm going to put that right. Well, it can stay there, I suppose. Yeah, it can stay there. That's fine. But then I'm going to demolish this section of road so that cars can't traverse that. And that's going to allow these to be completely separated, which should help our traffic. So any underground traffic is going to use this world entrance. Anyone that needs to be above ground is going to use this one. And then we'll have another third one. If I go into planning mode and place that in there, and that will be for our buses. So let's grab ourselves a road tunnel public going down. That can be placed right there. That'll be good. We'll get paged. I don't want that planned. I actually want to build these. Build that. Page down. And I forgot that I already planned all this out. So that's very nice. Grab a public road, connect this up, And we can basically just say, build as much of this as you possibly can. Build all of this bottom section. Just make sure I get all of it there. And then we need to figure out how we're going to get people from down here back up into our terminal itself. And for that, we are going to use elevators, but I don't believe that we have enough money to do it just yet. So we actually need to build at least this, and that needs to be connected to that. I believe we might also need to build one more. If we jump into our terminal and select the elevator, yeah, we're going to have to build at least one more, which is unfortunate. Yeah, we can almost do it. We'll let the game run a little bit in the background as we plan this out. I'll jump back into a time lapse as we figure out how this is actually going to work. Okay, never mind. This is in the complete wrong spot. We're going to let it build anyway because I think it's going to be fine, but we actually need this to be off to the side over here. So the elevators could maybe come up in front of our bathrooms, and that could be alright too. So let's do that instead. We'll keep the game running and we'll jump into another little time lapse here. Okay, so the elevator currently costs 25,000. We can't really afford that right now. So instead, we might have to just make it work with stairs instead, which is absolutely fine. If we do it this way, they can absolutely come along here, walk along these footpaths, and come up the stairs into our terminal in the non-secure part, and that should work out just fine. If we can, I would also like to build like as much of this as humanly possible. So let me just make sure that we're on the right tab there. It looks like we can almost build all of it. We can build at least that, and then we can get the road in separately once we have some more money. Alright, that should be all good to go. The only thing that I need to do now is make sure that we actually set some of these as long-term. These should all be set to short-term now because underground is where we want to have our long-term parking. Set these back to at least, maybe even these back 4 as long-term. I think that will be absolutely fine. Our terminal really isn't that big. One thing that I don't want to do anytime soon is build a subway stand because as soon as we do that, our people are going to use parking a lot less. So we'll leave it as just parking for now. We also probably don't need this strictly just yet, but actually, yeah, let's demolish these. We don't need them. It'll save us a little bit of money in the long run as well. As soon as this one's built, we can also set that to long-term parking, and our profits should massively go up from that point on. Let's leave this time-lapse running just a little bit longer. I want to build out this entire planned area, and then I think we'll leave the episode there. We have a new emergency coming in. Ramp agent servicing Havana flight HV194 scheduled for departure to WYA at 11:15. It's discovered an equipment failure and are deeming the aircraft is not airworthy. Flight has been cancelled and the aircraft will require maintenance at a hangar. Thankfully, we already have a hangar set up, so we don't have to do anything for that alert, but that is absolutely fine. We're just still waiting for money to come in. And again, another emergency. This one I have actually not seen before. The recent times flourishing economy has come to an end and markets around the world are plummeting, and expect a downturn in passenger and aircraft traffic in the near future. So how long does that last? 2 days, 14 hours? Hopefully that doesn't hit us too bad. I would really like to get this done this episode, but we'll have to see how we go. We're so close at this point. The travelators aren't going in this episode, but I would have liked to get this done. We might just settle for getting this part done though, so we can expand at least our offerings to another 5 commercial flights before we start setting up the second side of the airport and really making some good money. And another aircraft has deemed not worthy. That's fine, that'll get repaired without us having to do anything about it. So we'll leave the game running and continue this little time lapse here. Yet another incident where an aircraft is not worthy. That is fine. The other one has been cleared, so we don't have to worry about that again. And this is so close to being done. We're going to finish it this episode, get this terminal all built out, everything that's planned except for these sidewalks here. and these travelators, and then we will call it there. So we'll slowly but surely get this finished. And then between episodes, I might actually just let the game run for a little bit, get everything up and running so that we have a little bit of money to spend as we start the next episode. But until we get to that point, as we finish this off, we'll run a quick little time lapse to get this complete. And as we are approaching the very last pieces of foundation, our emergency gets cleared 100%. But just for some context here, what we've built here, and including everything that we've planned on this other side, could almost be built immediately if we were playing on easy mode. But in extreme mode, we have very little starting money to start with, but we are making it at a pretty decent rate. If I let this run for like 20 minutes, we would have more than enough money to just start expanding as much as we wanted to. But I think that's going to do it for this episode. In the next episode, we're going to sort out our security a little bit. I also want to get all of these running as commercial flights, potentially completing this build over here for the rest of our general aviation, and maybe if we have time, setting up some baggage handling for our small stands, as well as decorating our lobby and sorting out the check-in a little bit. Lots to do, lots still to come. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. If you are, please do make sure to hit that like button, hit subscribe, leave a comment for the sake of engagement, and consider joining the Discord, link in the description. And if you haven't already, there is merch now available. So if you want to check that out and support the channel in that way, I would very much appreciate that. But that's all for now. Until next time, happy building, happy flying. Bye, guys.